I'm back at it, YouTubers, law schoolers, and curious people. So, I'm just going to jump right in because my videos are really long, and I'm blabbing, most of them. So, why is it 8:30? I am home, and I'm done with classes because my classes end at 7:50, which I am extremely excited about. First time throughout my entire law school career, which has been 3 years. So, I'll tell you about that in another video. This video, the last video I covered was summer 2014. And I talked about the NPRE, the classes that I took, some tips and tricks, some things that I liked. This semester, I'm taking 4 classes. I have a lot to tell you about this semester. Taking a pretty cool hands-on class. So I'll come back with another video about that, but I want to catch you up and talk about last semester. I didn't do a video. I wasn't really thrilled to do a video real quick for last semester because it nearly killed me. Here's why. I took business associations, not a bad class. Talked about it's like corporations, shareholders, directors, what they can do, what they can't do legally, different things like that. What's a partnership? What's an agency? How do you get into that agreement and how do courts see it? That class was fine. I really liked that class. I liked the teacher. I liked how she... her teaching method or whatever. And then I had commercial transactions. That class was fine, but I do have a show and tell today. So this binder, this is what I use because most of your classes, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, most of my classes have been, you can use your computer. And with computers, you can find what you're looking for. Well, this class, you couldn't use your computer, but you could use an outline. I had an awesome outline. Here's the problem with using an awesome outline that's 90 pages long. You spend most of the test looking for things. That's not it. So, I'm going to give you a tip that may or may not work for you. But it took me a while. This sounds very simple. Let me just disclaimer. But it took me a while to grasp, like, okay, how do I go about doing this? So I'm just going to go right in and tell you how to do it. And that way you can kind of mold it to your liking. Okay, so I had this really long and daunting outline. See, it's all highlighted and all that jazz. It's really nice. But, yeah, I didn't know how to separate it. Okay, so then what I decided to do was, I thought about how is this class split up. So you really need to pay attention to the syllabus and how the professor talks about the class when they jump from subject to subject, and that might give you some ideas. If I had been, this was a very problem-based class, so we did problems in class after each lesson. If I had been smart, I would have just gotten all those problems and I would have been able to answer this with just using the problems, but I wasn't smart. I didn't take notes on the problems. So, I wasn't a very good student. So, I had to figure this out. Well, in figuring it out, I had to learn it. So even if you get an outline from somebody else, it's a bad idea because people say you depend on the outline, you don't pay attention in class, you get behind, blah, 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 blah. If you're going to keep up and maybe take your own notes and put your own spin and change the outline a little bit, it's not necessarily a bad idea to have somebody else's outline. This outline that I just showed you was somebody else's outline. And it's not cheating or anything. Outlines are actually shared in law school. I think I've said that before. Anyway, so I looked at the syllabus and I thought about how the class is split up. Well, this is commercial transactions. So the class is split up into 2 different types of transactions. One part of the semester we were talking about you and me being customers and somebody else selling us something. So Beachbody sells you something, but they don't send you all the products. Who bears the, I just lost my train of thought. Who is responsible for paying the shipping or making up for that? What remedies do I have as the buyer who didn't get all my stuff, what remedies what can I enforce on the seller to do? Like, can I enforce them to send me an entire new package and keep the package? No. So there's different cases like that. The other part of the class was based on transactions between, like, a bank, when you write a bad check or when someone steals your check. Does the bank bear that responsibility or do you bear that responsibility? Now, as I said, it's different situations. It depends. But that's how the class was split up, mind you. So what I did was, if you can see here, there were different articles. So Article 2 is the ones I was telling you about where it's me and you as the buyer. Article 3 and 4 is stuff about the banks. So if I'm asked a question, I automatically know which part of the, outline to go to, which tabs. Okay, so yeah, that's great, but it's kind of thick within there, right? So here's what I did. I broke it down a little further. What are some main concepts? Now, once you split this up like this, you want to go through each and read, because what will happen is your memory will get jogged. It was 90 pages, but I stayed up for, I'm not kidding you, I stayed up for 24 hours straight, and I don't know how. But anyway, it was 90 pages, and I read all of them just to go through and remember. And what I did was, if you look over here, these tabs, so this one says defining terms. This is where somewhere in the outline I have a term that I defined, a definition. And then here, where it explicitly says, this says analysis. Somewhere in this book, something is analyzed. So with this part of the outline, I did this. So then if I was looking for a term, I only have the purple things to look for, okay? If I was looking for how to analyze something, I knew to go to the blue things. Within each section, I did that, okay? So that's that part. Okay, so as well as I thought about what are some of the things that this part is broken down into. Well, I just talked to you about some. Terms, performance. So that was a big section. That was like, there were big sections. Now, I didn't do this like, oh, it was terms, performance, and I just told you about remedies. So that's why you see remedies here. I didn't do that on my own. Again, I used the syllabus. Look at the syllabus and see how the professor breaks the topics down. And look at the subject headings. And that's how you know how to do this, because they'll ask questions and make sure they get each one of those topics in there somewhere. So if it's an issue where, okay, someone was supposed to, you hired a caterer and they didn't come. What are your remedies? Well, you go to performance because they were supposed to do a performance and it didn't happen. And then it narrows it down for, okay, I'm just looking in here. So that's what I did to kind of help me think about that kind of stuff. Okay, so that was pretty much, that was the gist of me breaking this down, because that's how this entire thing was broken down into. It was kind of split. There are some things that I did, like, for example, I would write in the outline, like that red writing you see there, it says review page, blah, blah, blah. And that's because whatever it is there, that page will help me, it'll explain it further or something like that. So I would write little notes to myself. Okay, so I did that for each side. And then sometimes you get practice exams in law school. So what I did was made a practice exams tab. And all the practice exams are here. Well, think about it. You're in an exam. You don't have that much time. So when you get a practice exam, you don't want to be reading the questions and like, okay, was this helping me? Would this help me? You want to know, question number 1 was about this. My question is about something else. That practice exam isn't going to help me. So what I did was I created, here are the practice exams. Okay, this is the practice exam section. I created sticky notes to tell me the gist of what this question is about. Okay, So I did that for each one, basically. I did this for the first one, and then I thought about it, that's dumb. So then I did this. And I wrote really small over here to tell me what it was about. And what I did was not just what it was about. Like, I would write words like words that coordinated with the other words, like performance, remedies. I would write that, but I would also write the article. So, like, when you get into contracts, you'll learn about 2207. Blah. Anyway, I put stuff like that, which article it was. So that would help me. Or I could, when you get practice exams, sometimes you get practice answers. So I would be able to look at the answers, and I would highlight the sections so I know how to formulate my answer during the exam. I honestly felt like I rocked this exam. Now, as you all know, I am queen of the B's, so I got B's, but whatever. I felt like it was great, and I did good. That was pretty much it. So I'm just going to show you this, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is my syllabus. So see how it's broken down into Article 2, sales. And then it gives you all of that information. Oh, I'm still on this page. Okay. And then terms. And then performance. And so I wrote to myself where each of these stopped. So for me, that's why you don't see a front and back, because I didn't want to be like this when I was looking. You have to think about, when you're doing this, think about what works for you. Oh, it's already been 10 minutes. Wow. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you mainly about, is my binder, because it was a nightmare creating, and I stayed up for forever trying to create it. So if you have more questions and more tips or suggestions, or how to create that kind of stuff, just put it in the comment box, and I'll try to help. The last class I had was evidence. I'm just going to end with this. Evidence is the sole reason why I was hesitant to do this video, because I was like, I honestly don't know if I'm going to pass this class. It was difficult. The last question, it was a regular exam, and then the last question was 145 points. Who does that? 145 points? I maybe got 40. So that class, yeah. Anyway, I passed. So that was pretty much it for evidence. It's the rule of evidence. You really want to know that class, especially if you're going to be a trial lawyer. You're going to want to know that. And evidence comes back up when you take stuff like trial advocacy, moot court, stuff like that, which I am in this semester. So I'll do another video on that later. I would like to go enjoy the fact that my class ends early and I didn't have any homework, so I'm going to go watch a movie. But I hope this video was helpful, and I didn't talk too fast, and the binder idea was helpful. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments box. Also, I'll talk to you about the rule it's Rule 13, but I don't know what it is in your state, but it's a rule that helps you with being able to do internships. I'll talk to you about that process and what I'm working on and what you should be doing, and the timeline about when you should be doing it. My videos are always so long. I'm sorry. Okay, that's it. Have a good day, and I hope this helped.